Hey, Colts fans, your guy Mike Conley here, and welcome to another episode of Conley on the Colts. This episode, I want to continue to talk about what the Colts are doing in free agency. The last episode I ended with, at the time, the last move they made was the Colts signed kicker Matt Gay. And to continue where we left off, in the same night, the Colts made two moves. They cut both Matt Ryan and Stephon Gilmore. Matt Ryan wasn't a surprising move. I was actually a little sweating it out a little bit, like, was it going to happen? And with the Gilmore trade, I was actually hanging out with my buddy, and he was on his phone on Twitter, and he said, "Oh, the trade Colts trade Gilmore, huh?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" Sure enough, he was right. They traded him for a fifth-round pick to Dallas. At first, I was pretty upset. Like, what are you guys doing? But the Colts only had like 11 million in cap space before they cut Ryan and Gilmore. Between those two, you get 7 million cap back in Ryan, and you get 8 million for Gilmore. So at the time, before they started making a few more of these moves, they had right around 25, 26 mil. But from there, I've seen this on the internet a little bit too, that this move is obviously it's a need for the Colts. They needed to sign some more on the defensive line. But I've seen a couple articles where this says, like, this is kind of like a under the radar. It could be a big move. But they signed former 49ers defensive end. I'm probably going to butcher this last name, but Samson Ibukma, I believe is how you say it. But he was a fourth-round draft pick in 2017 for the Rams. Played there for 40 years, and then the last two seasons he played with the 49ers. He's been more of a rotational piece for them the last 2 years. I mean, that defensive line for the Niners has just been stacked, but he's been averaging really about 5 sacks a year. His sack numbers, they don't jump off the page to you. He's had 9.5 sacks over the last 2 years. But from what I understand, the guy plays all three downs. He's pretty decent against the run. Like he's a kind of a jack of all trades, if you will, at least more than Yannick Ngakoue was. So I don't really see the Colts signing Yannick back. This might be their move to counteract that. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking maybe Ballard sees something, or the defensive coordinator and Gus Bradley, sees something. Maybe time for Samson to step up a little bit. But it'd be very anxious to see how he progresses in this defense. I seen a couple of interviews with him saying, the defensive scheme is similar to what he's used to, so hopefully it won't take him very long to catch on. Next move they made was re-signing wide receiver Ashton Dulin to I do apologize. I wanted to talk about the numbers for Samson. Let me jump back on that. It's a 3-year, $27 million deal. So it's not the cheapest, So I think that's why I'm thinking they see something in him. But back to Dulin, he signed that 2-year, $7.2 million contract. 2022, he's a special team stud. Dulin is. He's shows up all the time. But as far as receptions, 2022, he had 15 receptions for 207 yards with 1 touchdown. Be interesting to see if he gets some more looks at that, or if they keep him more of a special teams guy. He's got height. He's 6'2". When he is on the field, he's pretty good. They obviously liked him. They brought him back. The Colts signed defensive tackle Taven Bryan, who was a former first-round draft pick in 2018 by the Jags. Was with the Browns last year. kind of definitely more of a depth signing on a 1 year, $3 million deal. More of a rotational player. See how he fits into the system. He's got talent, you know. He was picked 29th by the Jags in 2018. He's kind of been bouncing around a little bit, so it's good to see some depth, though. I mean, depth's important. They re-signed cornerback Tony Brown, who has been more of a special teams player as well, but with them being short on cornerback, it'll be interesting to see if he gets more looks with that. He's special team stud, you know, bunch of tackles, flies all around the field. So that's cool. That's cool to see him to come back. And Colts also signed quarterback Gardner Minshew to a 1 year, $3.5 million deal. I've seen some Colts fans. I mean, I've seen them kind of like, oh, great, here we go. Colts aren't going to take a quarterback at 4. They may not. They may shock us all and decide to go a different route. But, you know, it was smart to bring Gardner in here. He's known Shane Steichen's system. He's been a backup. I fully expect him to be a backup in this system as well. I mean, you got to draft a rookie quarterback and let him take the reins. Hopefully that's what happens. You know, but it was good to bring him in. You know, he, like I said, he knows the system, knows Shane Steichen. Steichen's familiar with him. He can hopefully help a rookie quarterback come in here and learn the system even better. So, you know, like I said, it was surprising with the Gilmore trade. Got a 5th-round pick out of him, but you saved $8 million cap space. I would say cornerback is. I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Colts go with in the next couple of days with a veteran cornerback signed to the team. But that brings us to our latest pickup, and it actually happened today. They signed Isaiah McKenzie. I don't yet know the contract of it, but they bring him in partially because they let Paris Campbell walk. Paris Campbell signed with the Giants on a 1-year deal. I can't remember the number of that. Something around, I think it was around $8 million, which I'm curious to see what this contract is with Isaiah McKenzie, because, you know, I thought for sure the Colts would bring back Paris. You know, he had 3 injury-ridden seasons, and you stuck by him all 3 seasons. You know, finally gets healthy last year, and you can see what he does when he is healthy, but they let him walk. So, but Isaiah, like I said, I don't know his deal yet, but he kind of might fill that role that Campbell had. I expect them to at least probably be signing at least one wide receiver in this draft as well. They're a little thin. You got Pittman, Pierce, now McKenzie, probably being your top 3 at this point in time. 5'8", 173 pounds. Last year was his most productive year with the Bills. It really was. 42 receptions, 423 yards, and 4 TDs. He's got 4.42 speed. And just comparing that to Paris Campbell, Campbell had 4.31, so pretty close there. I mean, if they want, he's definitely a slot guy. I could see coming in here. As of right now, I mean, he is your slot guy, depending on what they do. So I'll keep you updated, guys. Trying to be making some more videos. It's just, you know, it'll be interesting to see what the Colts continue to do. It's just weird with some of these moves, man. Like, you know, you trade Gilmore and you're like, what is going on? Is this a farm sale? Are we, you know, what the heck? And then they bring in like a pretty decent receiver in Isaiah McKenzie. So, you know, again, the cap space was a little bit of an issue, but if I was a betting man, I would say the next couple moves that the Colts make will probably be in the offensive line or cornerback. Tell me what you guys think on these moves so far. That'll do it for this one. And, you know, I appreciate the support. And let's see what the Colts do in the next couple of days. And just remember, let's go Colts.